What is up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Straight Edge Wrestling This Week in Wrestling podcast. Another quite enjoyable week in wrestling. It's been gradually getting better. Yeah, obviously, the news at the beginning of the week, which started off, was that WWE would start having a crowd in their shows, which I liked.
It was a bit off. I realized, you know what I realized when I was watching Raw? You can definitely tell that they like having people there at the moment because they only did 2 matches in the first hour, and the 2 matches weren't overly long. There was a lot of talking, interviews, and things like that.
Oh yeah. Both Raw and SmackDown were very have been tending towards that sort of stuff, skits and videos and things like that, quite heavily. I like the fact that they had like the hockey sort of plastic around the outside. I thought that was good because, as people said, there's a good chance that will probably stay when they go back to having an audience, which makes perfect sense, despite the fact that.
Also, how can they get their NXT up to stand up for 3 hours straight?
Oh man, and they did not have chairs, and apparently that those recordings. So because obviously it wasn't live, they're not recording live now. So that recording session was apparently 10 hours long for Raw and SmackDown. 10 hours, and they were provided.
Well, I noticed when they come to SmackDown, they moved them around.
Yeah, they sort of moved around, and there was certain talents there, certain higher NXT talents, not like Adam Cole and people like that, but certain ones which they clearly have plans for, which were there but were never on camera. They made a point of like keeping them off camera because they didn't want them to be seen in the crowd. But yeah, I mean, The Rock's daughter Simone was one of the people that was in the crowd. I did notice that. But
well, yeah, I know you got part of the 4 horsewomen, two of the 4 horsewomen from the MMA crowd that are in there.
Yeah, but 10 hours, and it was said that essentially they had nothing more than like a packed lunch that was provided to them as their meal for the day. Got 10 hours, and they I heard Sean Ross Sapp point out the fact that lots of them stood up all day on the Monday, all day on the Tuesday, and then had to go and wrestle on the Wednesday for NXT.
At least they should be getting appearance fees, though, right?
I don't really know what NXT contracts are like. I should imagine. I should imagine so. Yeah, because I should imagine they'll get their downside then plus their per appearance. But who knows?
Due to most of them actually being on screen.
Yeah, they should. They probably should. Obviously, AEW or Jim Ross, more accurately, kind of buried the hockey stadium style plastic surround, saying where he said he made a little dig on AEW, saying something about well, at least our crowd's not in a plastic bubble. Which I'm all for I'm all for the plastic bubble because they're going to have it when the crowds actually return. I'm all for that, rather than crowds being able to cough and spit and splutter all over the wrestlers. And do you know what it actually did on the entrance ramp? It added some weird sort of effects with the lights, which I actually quite liked, with like Asuka's entrance and stuff. It looked pretty cool.
I gotta admit, it took me a little while to get used to it while watching Raw going through it, because it started off a bit crapping. It felt like you could have just had it like canned laughter and reactions.
Yeah, I tweeted out at one point like, "Oh Jesus Christ, Kevin Dunn is going to love this, isn't he? Because he's going to make 1,000 camera cuts to the audience." And he was at the beginning. It was just like camera cut, and I was like, "Oh no!" But I thought, I bet this is Vince McMahon's sort of wet dream. He's thinking, I can actually control who the audience cheers and who they boo. This is great. But Raw was an enjoyable show. There was ebbs and flows like whatever, but I think they've been putting a lot more effort into the shows over the past, I'd say, month than they have for quite a long time. I think the last month has been consistently pretty good because they've been continuing stories.
Yes, I agree.
mean, yeah. So like we had obviously Apollo Crews became the new United States champion, which I'm fine with. I didn't see it coming, to be honest, just because Andrade's been like part of that Zelina crew, which has been getting that push.
Yeah, I got a feeling they're going to slowly break that group up, and it's irritating. Let's be honest, the group only got put together because one person got suspended and then injured.
Yeah, it was just happenstance. So you didn't really want them together. It only happened because Andrade got himself suspended. But
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it as well. I thought it was really good. We also had the women's tag title story was developed here, and this is probably my highlight of Raw.
I don't know. I quite actually over-enjoyed the first segment, the women's triple threat, mainly because Kevin Owens right now is freaking gold on that microphone, and the way when Natalya came out, it was he'll get his stuff out. It was the stuff he was just saying in the quick moments and the little things of you dropped the feather, Charlotte. There you go.
Yeah, and Kevin Owens is very, very good. He's very quick. That's the thing which makes him so good. That was entertaining. Charlotte is just everywhere, isn't she? Basically, Charlotte is on every show doing everything at the moment. They're trying to use her.
Yeah. Oh, you remember you said about them only being able to do 4 appearances from the other show. Did you shoot half of that already?
Yeah. So I don't quite know, unless they're going to get out of it with Charlotte by saying, no, the NXT women's champion, because she's signed to main roster, she can sort of do, they're going to have some sort of bullshit get out, or it's going to be like all the other times they've done this and they'll forget it straight away. But the women's tag title thing I really liked. And when this started, I obviously thought it was going to be the Iconics that were going to be the standout, but it was Nikki Cross.
Oh, it started off with Nikki Cross, and then I quite like how it ended with the Iconics standing tall.
Yeah, but I mean, like Nikki Cross was actually allowed to speak and have a promo time, and it was fucking good. It was really, really good.
Yeah,
like a real fire promo. Yeah, but obviously, the Iconics attacked them, laid them out, and stood tall. So they're going to continue on with that, which is weird because also on SmackDown they've got their own other thing going on.
Which is weird because they seem to just suddenly killed that momentum for the Raw storyline, with now having the tag team titles down on the line next week.
Yeah, I thought exactly the same thing. Like they're sort of just. I get that they want the tag titles on both, but it's just sort of. Yeah, I agree. It's like it's a weird thing.
But starting off, they did it quite right. Where if they was having a storyline with one show, they were more with that show.
Just stayed there. Yeah, I agree. It's a weird thing to do. It's like, but the thing is, I enjoyed. Well, we'll talk about that. But I enjoyed the Sasha Bailey thing on SmackDown as well. But at the same time, it just didn't make sense when they're doing the Iconics thing. We had the VIP lounge. Obviously, we had the beginning. MVP and Lana had a little thing backstage, and then I quite liked this because it was building towards that Lashley Drew story, which Can we fuck
Lana off yet? Do we really do that?
Yeah, I don't really. I know she wants to stay and all that.
I could really do with her not screaming anymore. I've had enough.
Yeah, I'm bored of her. I only really enjoyed the Lana character when she was as part of the Rusev shtick, but yeah, no, I agree. But we had the continued build towards Drew and Lashley, which I'm all for. I'm all for Lashley looking.
No, it's starting to quite a big build. It's a shame that you kind of know Lashley's gonna lose because I kind of a little part of me wants them to win.
Yeah, he's just sort of cannon fodder. They're just filling time at the moment with feeding people to Drew, which is expected. But it's a shame that
unless this turns into like a 3-month storyline, and then at the end of it he wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken them years to do anything with Lashley, and now it's like, oh no, they're finally getting somewhere, but we know the end result probably already. Hey, we could be wrong, but I shouldn't think so. So we had another Viking Raiders and Street Profits segment playing mini golf.
Oh, it didn't quite start off with mini golf, did it?
No, it didn't. That was something. It wasn't as good as the last ones, but it was something.
All I really took away from that was, oh crap, what's his name from the Viking Riders? The one with all the air.
Ivar?
I think it wants to fight a crocodile or an alligator.
Yeah. Which makes perfect sense. It's Florida. It's like Gator Land, isn't it?
That's the main thing I took away from that.
Yeah, same here. We had Edge cut a pretty good promo about his greatest match ever. What I did enjoy about this week was Samoa Joe has sort of like tried to hedge his bets with this, because whilst everyone else is calling it the greatest match ever, Samoa Joe is saying it could quite possibly be one of the greatest matches ever. He's been like, I'm not saying that fucking stupid line. He's been making a point of like, could quite possibly be one of the.
Gotta admit, I did quite like Kevin Owens and Angel Gaza.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
as long
fine.
as long as they're not writing Kevin Owens back out of the show again, you know.
Yeah, they're going with the knee injury thing, and I don't know. Hopefully not. As long as he's on the show still and like doing the KO show, as long as he's still present. Obviously, they're still moving.
Yeah, but when he does a KO show now, he's got to be able to stand outside the ring.
Yeah, it's true. We had a couple of matches. We had the Disciples, which is now the name of Seth Rollins' little group.
I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, they're called the Disciples, as far as I'm aware. So next week they're going to have Rey Mysterio's retirement ceremony.
Yeah, which I've now found out Seth Rollins is hosting it.
Yeah. So obviously Rey's going to come back, and they're going to do something with them too. Don't know what.
Or maybe they're going to finally do that hint thing where Rey actually retires and his son takes his place.
Yeah. I mean, but by all accounts, Rey's contract is actually coming up very, very soon. I don't know when, but very soon.
I know the point was for him this is going to be it for him now. He was planning on retiring.
Yeah. I mean, most people want to retire with the big paycheck, don't they? They want to go to WWE, get that big paycheck, and then retire. So it makes sense.
Well, not everyone can go abroad right now. So, going over to Saudi, you're not going to get that big paycheck.
No, that's true. We had Nia
Jax.
I bet
WWE pissed right now because they can't try and get through this 10 year with these extra shows. So they're now going to have these extra shows for extra years, or do that 5 or do 5 Saudi shows in a year.
Oh, please don't. No, don't, please don't. Because Vince commented on that during the last investors call, where he said like there was all supposed to have one in November. Exactly. I was about to say, like, he said they were supposed to have one in November, and he said, "Oh, well, we'll either tack it on to the end of the 10 years, or we can figure something out." And by figure something out, I hope that doesn't mean like the Royal Rumble from Saudi, the Survivor Series from Saudi next year.
It's going to basically be next year or the year after. You'll just find every pay-per-view, including WrestleMania, is going to be held.
No,
it's going to be the worst year because half the guys won't want to go back.
Yeah, exactly. God, no, no, please, don't jinx it. We had Nia Jax defeating both Natalya and Charlotte in a number 1 contenders match.
No, what I wasn't that interested in this match. I didn't care too much. And then the first 2 minutes, it seemed like it was going to be a normal triple threat. But then actually, it got quite enjoyable. Yeah, I actually got quite into it.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, the thing is about Natalya, I really like Natalya. I've always really liked Natalya. She's so good at like bringing those sort of matches together, but they just move her in and out without actually doing anything with her all the time.
Well, I'm trying to see where they're gonna go, where they're kind of going with her character at the moment.
Yeah, this is probably actually something interesting that they've done with her for quite a while. And they also had a they had like a phone call thing with Natalya and Tyson Kidd, because there's been lots of rumors around recently that Tyson Kidd is training for a comeback of some kind. He's been trying to go down like the Edge and Daniel Bryan route of getting himself cleared again.
So go to AEW.
No, with WWE, definitely WWE. And we had the Street Profits defeating Bobby Lashley and MVP via disqualification as the main event, and it just ended in a complete, cluster with Drew McIntyre as the show went off the air.
Yeah,
it was a so-so ending, but then there was some good bits in the show. I mean, for me, it was the Iconics and Nikki Cross thing, which sort of was the highlight of that show.
I liked it. Yeah, I tell you what, I actually quite like. I did like Murphy and Austin Theory win their match.
Yep.
because they sold the story so well, being two new people teamed together, making mistakes, actually showing that they are generally could be quite a good team.
Yeah, it's true. And I think this is the first, and it is the first time we've actually seen anything out of Austin Theory, because for the last sort of 5 weeks he's been the one to get slapped around all the time and not get anything. So it was good to actually see him being able to do something.
So it'll be interesting to see how this group goes and who goes with it.
Yeah,
as I say, they're in the evolution stage right now. They need an old timer.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so then on Wednesday we had AEW Dynamite, which was a good show here and there. There was some really good bits and some not so good bits. Same as sort of Raw and SmackDown, to be fair. But it starts with the Inner Circle out the back with all their millions of T-shirts.
Yeah, I quite like the bits where you got one that can't hear, Sammy just freaking in pain.
Yeah,
a deal that was too good. A deal that was too good to refuse on a whole truck full of T-shirts that say they were the Stadium Stampede champions.
It's like
it wasn't a good night for them.
It's like some dodgy backyard sale, like at the back of a lorry, like trying to sell knocked off gear. When like you leave a WWE show or wrestling show and there's people outside the arena selling knocked off merchandise. That was what it reminded me of. It was great.
Well, of course it is. The people that sorted out the deals were former members of LAX. What do you expect was going to happen?
That's true. And so we then move over to a tag team match where we had the debut of FTR, former Revival, now going by FTR, which on their T-shirt at least stands for "fuck the rest," and they're going by the names of Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood now, which whatever.
Well, technically, they happened after the tag team match. If I'm honest, their debut.
Yeah, but I mean, no one really cares about the tag team match now because the whole thing was sort of overshadowed by FTR debuting.
Well, I quite liked it. I think Young Bucks and Private Party are two of the best teams.
It was fine, but once the match was over, no one was talking about the match.
That and potentially having one of them being potentially injured.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, not sure yet. But yeah, like when the match was over, it was sort of people already forgotten that the match was one of the best matches.
I'll give them their due though. At least AEW listened on how to do the entrance properly with a fucking car in that corner.
Yes, they actually drove the car. They actually drove the car around the corner. Obviously, we knew they were coming at some point. It was just a matter of when. But yeah, I mean, they're in. It's a weird one because obviously they've been teasing on social media for a long time the prospect of the Bucks versus FTR. But then they're obviously going to hold off on that, which is good. Good for them to actually hold off and not hotshot it like they do with an awful lot of stuff. They're going to hold off on that, and because they sort of teased the idea that FTR were going to come and attack the Young Bucks, and they didn't. Instead, they sort of not sided with the Bucks, but
I got to admit, Blade was having a bad night that night. Because not only did he get beat, Blade, Blade and Blade, yeah. The one who for some reason who has like no hair and has decided to now go blonde.
Yeah.
He's having a bad night because not only did he get beat up, but while Cody was doing his promo earlier on, his wife Ali is chatting up another man.
Yeah, it's not a good start.
Not a good night for Butcher.
We had Brian Cage's in-ring Dynamite debut as well, which was I'll be honest, I loved it because I've been moaning about this for weeks and weeks and weeks that they just don't do squashes. They don't know how to do squashes really, or at least they just don't want to do them at all, and they don't want to ever make anyone look strong. But they finally done it, and they made Brian Cage actually squash someone.
I got confused to start with because before they finally announced it was Lee Jordan in the ring. Because let's be honest, they announced that after he got bad about a minute.
He was already being thrown around the ring at that point.
I thought it was Pineapple Man.
Oh, Pineapple Pete. Yeah. And Taz got a good promo. He said the line, "Beat him if you can, survive if he lets you," which was cool. That was good. I like the fact that They're really using managers, AEW, which is something like WWE is, other than Paul Heyman, they kind of stayed away from it for many years.
Is that because they don't know what to do with all these producers, so they're just making them managers?
Managers, yeah. We had Cody Rhodes issuing an open challenge. They still haven't fixed the belt yet. But he cut through.
The problem is, though, after him when he said, I'm going to be doing this now, I'm going to do an open challenge, I'll do this weekend. Like that, all I can think of, you're not making this belt sound anything more like a TV title at all, no. You could have made this belt like a grand championship, like your Intercontinental US style. Now you've put it in the very low levels of just being a TV belt.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think they did that straight away with. I heard lots of people say on Double or Nothing, like on the pay-per-view last week, what they really should have done is, I know Stadium Stampede obviously was going to main event, but they should have had this be the match before that, just to give it that little thing of, because they've been trying to say that it's on equal playing with the heavyweight title, haven't they? That's what
I can see that, and how the match went as well. It would have been great to be up there as well.
So like, I've heard lots of people make that argument where it should have been, if you want it to seem like it's a big deal, well then have it as essentially your main event, which I can completely see that argument.
Yeah, I can see that. Makes sense.
Yeah, and we had SCU versus Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc. I really like this match. I really like Kip Sabian.
Kip Sabian and fucking Jimmy Havoc seem to work great as a fucking tag team. So
I think Kip Sabian is just like a star waiting to happen. He really is.
I like Jimmy Havoc's finally got some TV time for once on actual TV.
Yeah,
in a match.
They've had him signed for best part of a year, and he's not really done anything, which is such a shame because lots of people were really hyped.
JR sings his praises every time he's on there for how good. Yeah, he may be going for hardcore, but he's got the great British wrestling style. He really can wrestle.
Yeah, it's a weird thing when SCU. I know what they're doing with SCU, but when SCU came about in AEW, they were sort of positioned as I want to say like the elder statesman in the tag team division. They were sort of the legends as such, weren't they? Like, if that's the right word, you know what I mean? And I don't know what they've done with them in the last sort of 3 or 4 months. They just, I don't know, they've just sort of been coasting by.
They've been on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. But I mean, on TV, it's just like, I don't know, weird. Nothing, not really done anything with them.
Well, I think because at the moment they need to start pushing some other younger people, make some actual more characters.
Yeah, which is weird, but it's like normally you do that with the older guys, which they did here, but it would have meant something a lot more if SCU had meant a lot more,
So, we'll see how it goes.
We also had the Battle Royal. Jungle Boy picked up the win. Battle Royals or a Battle Royal.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to slowly start getting to see the breakup between MJF and Warlord.
Yeah, probably at some point. But
I know it looked like it'll be the beginning part of it here today. He started off from the promo and then went its way into the match.
Yeah. Whether or not they do it in a week's time, like WWE does when they do these things, or they do it in 4 months' time. Who knows? But hey, it was good because Jungle Boy and MJF was probably it was the match of Double or Nothing, like the actual wrestling.
Yeah, we both agreed on that one.
Yeah, and I've heard like pretty much unanimous praise for it. So it was good because Jungle Boy came with that match looking good, and why not? He's got some steam. And of course, and of course, the show ended with the Inner Circle pep rally. Vicky Guerrero cheerleading. She's actually a cheerleader. She was actually a cheerleader, which I'm all for the fact that WWE blackballed Vicky, so AEW's given her something to do and given her some money.
Oh, I was genuinely confused because they brought these cheerleaders out. Didn't really explain the start of it, and then went to break while we had cheerleaders there, and I was like, well, are we trying to be anything more like WCW right now? Or what the fuck?
my immediate thought was like, why is this just sending the Nitro Girls out as you go to break? I literally thought the exact same thing.
They finally come back to find out why they were there.
Yeah, it was.
And then Vicky not having to use a fucking microphone and making people's ear bleeds.
I love Vicky, and we had the Inner Circle cutting many a promo, giving each other gifts. Sammy gave awards to all of the Inner Circle, and I can't remember what Jericho said on it. And he was like, "Hey, there's a pandemic going on. It's hard to get trophies." And Jericho gives Sammy,
it was like the best dad joke.
Best dad joke. Yeah, that's it.
Dad joke.
And Jericho gives Sammy a little scooter for him to scoot around on, and he gives Ortiz.
Do you notice though when it all kicks off, how quickly he could use his leg?
His leg just stopped. Yeah, I did notice. So it was a miraculous recovery. And then Jericho and Tyson become a thing, something which I'd mentioned last week about the fact that I found it weird that they never done anything between them. So I'm glad they did. We don't know what the contract status is with Tyson and AEW, but obviously they were trying to emulate the old Tyson and Austin thing from the Attitude Era.
Well, Tyson needs to get back in the gym a bit more so he can rip the shirt out properly.
Yeah, or he needs to do the old Hulk Hogan trick, where you snip the top and snip the bottom, so you.
Tyson's no pussy. Tyson's no pussy. He's just slightly old right now. And he just needs to work on it a bit better. Got to work on. I can't remember. He's probably got arthritis in his fingers.
Hey, the dude is like gearing up for Tyson Holyfield 3, which is probably going to be the biggest box office draw ever, and he's been back training and he looks ridiculous for a man of his age. He should not be moving that fast to be that limber. And I can't remember who it was that tweeted out, it may have been Chuck Taylor or someone, where they were pulling Tyson back. And there's a picture he tweeted out with him holding Tyson back by the arm. And he was like, I have never felt a muscle that strong in my life as I was when I was touching Tyson's bicep. He's like, I never want.
Tyson's probably got me a pretty kick, looking at having a tiger living at your house.
Yeah, it's true. But if they get a match out of Tyson and Jericho, that's big for AEW. Really big.
The problem is though, this whole segment, and I looked at it, and all I could think of was, this looks terrible compared to when I compare it to something like John Cena and Brock Lesnar being held apart.
Yeah,
because where they're holding two people back, you've got all the others trying to beat the crap out of one another. Then there's a Sammy beating up one of the other guys left in the corner while everyone else is now over it. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? Get some coordination.
The best comparison, obviously, is compare it directly to Austin and Tyson, and how that you had McMahon screaming in Austin's face and the pull apart, and there was like 18 people holding them both back, and people were fucking strewn around everywhere. And yeah, this didn't have the same oomph as that, because I don't know, it came off as slightly comedic as well because of Jericho being Jericho. It came off slightly comedic, but it sort of seems like it should be really like a real serious thing. But
but I also just thought I was fine with how it started off, before they decided to try and want to kill it. It just seemed that there was no sort of coordination for the actual let's kick the crap out of one another and then split everyone up.
Yeah, I don't think they rehearsed it really that well.
It sort of started off as something that could be really good and then just turned into a shit show.
Yeah, no, I agree. I enjoyed it for the fact of this is all about brand building or whatever. So if it gets AEW's name out there, great. But yeah, it wasn't the most artistically done thing that AEW's ever done.
I can safely say on it, it didn't make the Inner Circle or Tyson look amazing. It started off making them look good, and then went into a shit show that didn't make either one look great.
Yeah, exactly. You think when Tyson was in the WWF, they made his presence and the build around the WrestleMania with Austin and Shawn made the pay-per-view buys for that WrestleMania be nearly triple the year before. I don't really think Tyson's going to have that rub with AEW after that. But no, I'm interested to see where it goes. Whatever they get out of Titan.
You'll probably be fine. It'll be one of those ones that lead to an August pay-per-view.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You know, that big pay-per-view of the year.
I shouldn't think, if they've got TYSON, I shouldn't think they're going to want to do it in an empty arena. I don't know. Who knows? I shouldn't think they're going to want to do it at Fyter Fest, at a special event. I think they're probably going to want to wait to pay-per-view.
Well, yeah, let's be honest. The big one ain't that far away.
No, it's like 2.5 months, 3 months away. And we had SmackDown, which is probably the highest talking point of the week. Well, it's definitely the highest talking point of the week. So the show opens up with Elias laying on the ground, Renee Young, who's back on.
Is that what everyone was talking about? Because I was thought everyone was talking about the return of Shorty G. That was huge.
And Jason Jordan was on screen this week as well. But
yeah, I did see him. I didn't care about him. Not until I suddenly realised that Shorty G was back, and I was like, yes.
We had Elias laying on the ground with a car crash having happened, and police everywhere looking for whoever's car it was, and then the police find the car is Jeff Hardy's. They move over to the side, and Jeff Hardy is sort of all over the place in the corner, obviously playing off of Jeff Hardy's real life DUIs and substance issues and other legal issues that he's had over the years.
Did you also notice they brought Braun in just to do that one little 30-second bit?
So bizarre.
That's how important your Universal Champion is for your show.
He was just there to go, wow, look at that. Yeah.
I found him and I called the police.
Yeah, so bizarre. Obviously, you knew what the thing was going to be. You knew it was going to have been a Sheamus ploy of some kind, but I really enjoyed this opening segment.
But we don't know that.
We don't know that.
We just know Jeff Hardy come back and deck Sheamus.
Yeah, and we know that he wasn't drunk.
It might be because he's ginger. We don't know.
We know he wasn't drunk because WWE has said that he wasn't drunk, that he wasn't intoxicated whatsoever.
You did not believe Jeff Hardy when he said that? I did.
Well, you know.
He was in a lot of pain. He'd just been in a car crash.
Yeah, well, obviously they're implying that it was a Sheamus setup, which I'm fine with this. I know lots of people. God damn it! I saw Ryan Satin lose his mind over this about they shouldn't be playing with.
I bet this is how they bring back Sammy. He likes to wear black.
Maybe. But there was lots of people on Twitter that lost their minds over this. Like Ryan Satin completely broke down over it, being like, they shouldn't be playing with issues like this. Lots of people lose their lives to DUIs and drunk driving and things like blah, blah, blah. It's a freaking TV show. Many TV shows deal with, murder and drink driving and all those sort of things. Yeah, we know that Jeff's had real issues, but this is a TV show. It isn't real. It just blew my mind that people were like, oh, you shouldn't be making TV about this. Have you never watched Breaking Bad or freaking Sopranos or any TV show in the last 25 years?
No, I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm only allowed to watch PG rated WWE TV. God, that I was like, I tweeted it out because I'm like,
fucking hell, that's all I can watch. I'll be blowing my brains out.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I just don't understand that. I don't understand this logic where WWE wrestling isn't allowed to use those sort of stories, but it is because it's another TV show, but people see it as this weird thing where it can't be used as a TV show and have television style storylines.
Well,
I know
at the end of the day, for a lot of people, you need to make things a little bit more realistic.
Yeah. I saw Matt Hardy and Rebby Hardy shit on this on Twitter because that's all they do now is Rebby Hardy is just the worst and just shits on everything that WWE do basically. And Matt Hardy got into a love fest with Tony Khan on Twitter, just moments after it happened, tweeting out being like, oh, am I thankful that I work for Tony Khan and AEW Wrestling right now. And Tony Khan tweeted back a big old love.
So he can play 5 different versions of Matt Hardy.
Yeah. It's I enjoyed it. I saw I saw lots of praise for it. I ran a poll to see what people thought on Twitter, like thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs in the middle, and it did come back like 50% negative, and then 25% up and 25% like whatever. But whatever. If my thing is, if Jeff was fine with it, whatever. It was entertaining. It was different.
Yeah, but this could be like some of the, like the Dean Ambrose and the chemo with Roman Reigns, where one gets told this and then you find out technically, and it can be a bit of a sore. So you don't fully know if Jeff Hardy was 100% with it, but at the end of the day, he's doing his job.
Yeah, he's doing his job. I think there is an issue in the fact that 2 times I can think of where they've done this previously, one with Scott Hall and one with Hawk, and neither of those ended up well. They've done the storylines based on.
They tried to kill Hawk.
Yeah, true. But neither of those things ended up well for the real people. Scott Hall, they tried to use his alcoholism in a story, and it made his real alcoholism worse. Blah blah blah. So yeah, I get that. I get that quite a lot. That people are making those comparisons and be a bit. Whatever. But like, I liked it. It actually genuinely hooked me into the show because
it was a good starter, and then I quite liked where it led to then, because I feel that man should be like a general manager style person, because he takes no bullshit and he's fair.
Adam Pearce is his name. He's a producer. Yeah. They use him every now and then because obviously they've done away with authority figures. They've used him a few times as just.
I feel he should be a commissioner for all the SmackDown because he takes no bullshit and he's fair.
It was good. So it led to that backstage thing. My favorite thing in all this was Sheamus trying to book a match, and all you hear is it was Dolph Ziggler shouting out, "You can't book matches. You're not Jack Tunney." It made me laugh so much, just because it was like no one watching in 2020 that isn't like a wrestling fan knows who Jack Tunney is. Like a proper wrestling fan knows who Jack Tunney is. So that made me laugh. Drew Gulak obviously back. He re-signed with WWE. He was there. Shorty G back. They set up for Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan to see who would face AJ for the IC title.
Well, actually, no, they set up for a Battle Royal.
Sorry, yeah, they set up for a Battle Royal.
Where Shorty G was screwed, and unfortunately, Sheamus fucking won. I'm a bit fed up with Sheamus right now on TV.
Yeah, if I'm
honest, I was actually genuinely hoping for 2 people, and that was Jimmy Uso or Shorty G. I was hoping more for Shorty G because I think him and Daniel Bryan having a match would be out of this world. And then if he was to then go and face AJ Styles, that'd be another amazing match.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we've seen Bryan versus AJ yet. Like before, I assume we probably have at some point. But I'm pretty
sure they wrestled at certain points.
I'm sure they have
WWE Championship at one stage.
Yeah, I just don't remember it, which I don't know. But I'm sure that would be a good match. But yeah, no, you're right. Shorty G, it's a shame. But hopefully they can do something with him.
They also beat the living crap out of each other in Vince McMahon's office.
That's true. Yeah. No, but I mean like a proper match, not Money in the Bank ladder match where they're putting the chairs back under Vince's desk.
Well, because AJ's a pussy.
Yeah. We had Sonya Deville versus Lacey Evans ended in a double countout. There's a bit of Sonya Deville news, which was that she is apparently being considered to be cast as the role of Batwoman in the new series which is coming out. Because
the new series of Batwoman.
Yes, a whole new thing.
Until the last Batwoman has only just started, pretty much.
But she's being considered for that role. It's going to be obviously. I'm assuming it's probably going to be for their streaming service, because once their streaming service starts, all the other ones will be cancelled, same as Marvel's ones. So yeah, she's been considered for that. She auditioned this week actually for it, which is cool because she's, as people said, she is a trained actor. She's not just a wrestler. She's actually a trained actress, and she's very charismatic, and she's got an MMA background, meaning that she can do all the fight stuff, which really is what they want. But we had a championship cluster thing with the women's tag titles, which we sort of briefly mentioned, which was good, but yeah, the same thing. It was like, why are we doing this when the Iconics have got their story going on?
It was an entertaining segment, but you already got one storyline going on. Why bother?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Why did we not have a tag team calm down to start the storyline with freaking the New Day?
Yeah, it didn't really make much sense. So yeah, it led to Sasha beating Alexa Bliss, and they're going to get the tag title shot. But yeah, and then we had Chad Gable and Cesaro. It was really short, unfortunately, because those two, I reckon,
you take that pun back.
It wasn't a Shorty G pun. It was
you try to take the mick out of Shorty G. I love this man.
Yeah, no, it's a shame because these two could have a brilliant match, but yeah, it didn't last long. I'll say that.
It's a good quick thing. To be honest, they were both just in a fucking 10-man battle royal.
Well, they were the day before. But yeah.
Don't give me your fucking things. It's TV. It's supposed to be a little realistic, all right?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. You've got to try and ruin everything for everyone, haven't you? Bloody hell.
Obviously, we then had the announcement from Kurt Angle that Matt Riddle is coming to SmackDown. He's been brought up, which was sort of leaked about a week ago that he'd been brought up. I don't know how he's going to resonate with a crowd. People love him and people hate him. He's got a lot of heat backstage, but also
the problem is I find with Matt Riddle is I think he's great in the ring. Yeah. And then he opens his mouth and that cool Mr. Surfer boy just drives me fucking nuts.
The thing is, though, that is Matt Riddle. That's not even a character. That is literally who he is.
Yeah, it fucking irritates me. I want Brock Lesnar to fucking beat the shite out of him.
All I want out of this is I want Matt Riddle versus Goldberg and let Matt Riddle squash Goldberg, which would never happen in a million years. That's all I want.
I'm also pretty sure at the moment we're not going to see Goldberg for a long time.
I don't think we are. No, not at all. Not even remotely. We had one of the more interesting segments with Otis and Mandy Rose.
Well, I don't get that. I don't get how the hell she's dreaming about when no offense, you should be doing this on a regular basis. You're dating one another. Why do you need to dream about it?
It was something. I laughed at it because it was entertaining, but goddamn, yeah.
I was just that this whole dream bit's pointless. You could have just jumped in there and then we could have been further along this fucking segment.
It was so bizarre. It was
I did love the cannonball.
It was good. Yeah. I don't even know. It was something. Just seeing Mandy Rose like thirsty for Otis.
To be honest, originally when it first started, I was actually fantasizing about somebody else's.
Same. I thought that. I thought it was gonna she was going and it was gonna be like Tucker or something.
I was just going to be like, what the fuck? And I was like, but you're technically you're his girlfriend. What are you doing this for?
You don't need to fantasize.
You could just jump him. Go jump him.
Yeah, it was something. And of course, the main event.
Also, the first time those two were properly kissed on TV as well.
Yeah, that was a real. They proper went for it.
And they went for it 3 times.
Yeah, they really went for it. Yeah, and of course the main event of the show was Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. Daniel Bryan picking up the win after Jeff Hardy makes his return, which is incredible that he manages to get arrested, booked, and back out again within 2 hours. It must have broken every record known to man.
It's Jeff Hardy, he's an enigma. He can do what the fuck he wants.
Yeah. WWE.com tried to fill in the void there by saying they took him back to the station and they breathalyzed him and he didn't have any alcohol in his breath, so they let him go, despite the fact that it was still his car and it was involved in a hit and run. But
the bit I don't understand is most police these days have this machine on them where you can breathalyze. Yeah. I know, to be honest, if they normally test positive, then you've got to normally take it back to the station to get the actual thing. But as I said, the police did not do a very good job.
We just
you could obviously see he was hurt and needed medical attention. They ignored that, handcuffed him, picked him, yanked him, threw him in the back of a cop car.
Yeah,
Jamie Noble was having a go at him.
Yeah, you got to ignore the massive issues with the arresting officers there. CM Punk made me laugh. CM Punk was tweeting out a storm like, "This is so bad. I love it. It's so bad. I'm pissing myself." Yeah, obviously Jeff Hardy attacked Sheamus to end the show, so we're going to be carrying on with Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. But anyway, on that note, that is it for this week in wrestling. Head over and follow us on Twitter at SCW_podcast up above. Please like and subscribe to this video here on YouTube. And we will see you next time with another video. We are